All right, guys, so now we're going to do some word problems, and if you kind of watch, it's going to be a little bit wonky because remember we said that we were taking some lessons from 17 and 18, kind of combining them together, because all this is being able to take that decimals, to turn it into a fraction, to multiply it, and then turn it back into a fraction with decimals. So it all just kind of works together. So just kind of bear with me with all the different things that we have to do. So we have this word problem that says a Boy Scout has a length of a rope measuring 7/10 of a meter. So I'm actually going to write 7/10. And it says he uses 2/10, so I know that 2/10 is 0.2 or 2/10 to tie a knot at the rope. How many meters of rope are in the knot? So I'm going to multiply that by 2/10. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and multiply this out. 7 times 2 is 14. 10 times 10 is 100. So I have 14 hundredths, or 0.14. Okay, pretty simple. So this one is where we're going to get a little bit more trickier with having to multiply different numbers. So we have 2 3/10 times 1 8/10. So I turn this into my fractions, 23/10 times 18/10. I need to do 23 times 18, but I also need to know that it's going to be 10 times 10. So I've got that hundredths. So over here, what they did was they made that multiplication, and all they did was they showed that label so that you know that when you're done with it, it is hundredths. But as long as you guys also do this part, you guys will be able to figure that how to multiply that out. Okay. So they set the first one up for you. You've got 23/10 times 9/10. But I'm going to go ahead and put this into fractions. So it's going to be 23/10 times 9/10. And it's exactly what that says here. So it's going to be 23 times 9, and then 10 times 10 is going to be 100. So I've got my algorithm. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 2 more, 18, 19, 20. So it's going to be 207. And then remember, my label is going to be hundredths, because when you do a tenth times a tenth, you get a hundredth. Okay, so then it's going to be 207 hundredths, and when you write that in decimal form, it's going to be 2.07. Okay, moving on to this one, we've done the exact same thing. Now they've got 2 38 hundredths times 18/10. Okay, so you see that here. We're multiplying.
Gabriel, does he need it right now?
He's in music.
Will they need it?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll just leave it.
Okay, so what you're going to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and continue multiplying this down. And they've already done this for you where you're doing your multiplication. Remember that hundredths times 10 is going to be the thousandths. Okay, so when they've put this, we have 4 and 284 thousandths. That's where they've put that decimal. And then, of course, we have that fraction there. So that's pretty simple. Sorry for the interruption, guys. That's okay. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to set up that fraction first, where I have 2 and 37 hundredths. So I know that I'm just going to take that decimal away, but I knew that it was hundredths, so that's what my bottom number is going to be, my denominator. And then it's 9/10. So I know I'm going to do 237 times 9, and then 10 times 10 I know is 1,000. Okay, so this is where I'm going to come over here and do my problem. So 9 times 7 is 63. Okay, 9 times 3 is 27, 33. Carry my 3. 9 times 2 is 18, 21. So I'm going to have 2,133 thousandths, and I want to put my label thousandths. And then to write it in decimal form, it's going to be 2 and 133 thousandths. Okay, so pretty simple, guys. I just want to double check to make sure that I did do that right, and I did. So just make sure that if you guys are confused on how to convert that from that fraction to that decimal, just get your place value chart out, and always remember that very last number is where that decimal would end. So you know that this number needs to end in that thousandths column.